This is the Paracave Podcast, proudly brought to you by major sponsor Parramatta Leagues Club, home of the Eels, and also home of Jack's Pale Ale.
Welcome to another episode of the Paracave Podcast. And now over to your host, Troy Warner, broadcasting live from the world-famous Paracave.
And yes, hello and welcome back to another episode of the Paracave Podcast. Troy Warner here, and it is State of Origin time. Blues versus the Maroons. Is there any better football being played in a season of rugby league than State of Origin? Mate against mate, state against state. New South Wales are the defending champions, and look, I am hoping they can go back to back and start a dynasty just like Queensland did all those years ago. But they are the defending champions, and the Maroons are playing at home in this first game tomorrow. Or the first game up at Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane. The second game is in Perth, and the third game is at Qlders Stadium. State of Origin, how good is it? Now, I've always said my favourite State of Origin game was 1991, game number 2, Big MG and Wally Lewis going at it at half-time. MG, he went at it a few times during that game, and I've had the privilege of speaking to him on the podcast a couple of times, and also when I did his interviews, spoke about that game as well. And look, that is my favourite game. Michael O'Connor, a sideline conversion to win the game, 14 points to 12. How good was that in the pouring rain? And with the old leather balls, I think, too, by the way. And Michael O'Connor wasn't kicking for Manly at the time either. Matthew Ridge was kicking for Manly, and he still managed to slot it over from the sideline. Now, this game, it hasn't really been talked about too much up in the media, to be honest. There has been a little bit of talk, and I think that's the reason, because the old Lachlan Galvin saga has taken over, but it's been pretty disappointing about the build-up to this game. There has obviously been in the papers and on the TV shows, but not as much as what I thought it would be. There has been a little sprinkling. Let's hope game number 2 there is a little bit better promotion of this game. But let's also hope for game number 2 they might do something about the team announcements as well. Very disappointing. Look, let's make it a fanfare. Let's do something for the fans. And I also think that both teams should be named at the same time. So either you go through all the New South Wales team, and then you immediately after that you name the Queensland team, or you name the fullback from New South Wales and then you name the fullback from Queensland. Make it a fanfare. Let's make it a TV event, a massive event. I remember sort of back in the old days, I mean, it wasn't really a massive event, but you would be watching the 6 o'clock news on a Sunday, and it would be interrupted by breaking news, the team announcement, and you'd have the CEO of the New South Wales Rugby League. I'm here to announce the team that will be running out in game number 1. We have Dylan Edwards from the Penrith Panthers, and so on and so on. But you just don't see that these days. All the journalists, they get the bloody leaks and stuff like that, and it's all over social media. Oh, this player's in, this player's not. But anyway, that look, I've gone on a little bit of a rant there, a little bit of a ramble there. But look, let's get to this game, because it is game number 1. And look, let's look at both the sides here. Look, actually, before we do that, this is the State of Origin series. So let's have a look at a few little things here. And look, a few stats, because you know that I love my stats, right? Now, I was on the Roosters Mania TV podcast the other day doing a preview for this, and I thank you for your stats there. So if you haven't heard that podcast, check that one out as well. Episode number 13, I believe it is, RMTV podcast. So check that one out. But look, head-to-head, there's been Queensland have won 70 games and New South Wales 60. There's been 2 draws. In 1980, when it all began, there was only one game, and 1981 there was one game as well. 1982, the series started. Points for New South Wales, total points is 2,168 for Queensland. 2,192. I remember a stage there where both of those were relatively the same, if not the same. It's just so close, usually, these competitions. Most points in a series, New South Wales 104, that was in 2000. Most tries was the same series, was 18, and most goals was 17 in 2021. Most points in a series, Ryan Qlders 52 in 2000, also 5 tries in 2000, the most and most goals. Biggest winning margin, well, that goes to Queensland, 46 points. Most points in a match, that goes to New South Wales, 56. DCE has played 25 games and is the current highest game player in the Queensland side. Valentine Holmes, 19 games. Latrell Mitchell is a leading try scorer for New South Wales currently. The current players, 7 tries in 8 games. So there's a few little stats there. Total number of Origin experience. Now, this is of game number 1. New South Wales has 121 and Queensland 159. So out of that 159, Valentine Holmes and Daly Cherry Evans make up 44 games. Now, let's go to these two sides here. Actually, before we do that, games played at Suncorp Stadium. Now, that was Suncorp Stadium 2003 to 2024. There's been 28 Origins there. Queensland have won 20. New South Wales have won 8, including the series winning game 3 last season. Games being played at the old Suncorp Stadium, which was Lang Park, between 1980 and 2001 was 33 games, Queensland 19, New South Wales 13. So, look, obviously Queensland have got the massive advantage there at home, and look, it is pretty daunting there at home to play for oppositions to play up there in Queensland. I have been fortunate enough to go to one Origin game up in Queensland as a New South Wales supporter, and look, I didn't think it was as bad as what I was expecting it to be. I actually wore my Blues jersey in the Caxton Street Hotel back in the day. I can't remember when it was. It could have been 2012, I'm thinking maybe. Could be a little bit earlier than that. But it was probably during the Queensland Origin run there. Look, let's get into the teams, and obviously, I'll start with Queensland, unfortunately, being a New South Welshman. We've got Kalen Ponga, Xavier Coates, Robert Toya, who's played about 10 games for the Roosters. He's making his debut. Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow, Val Holmes, Cameron Munster, who missed last year's series due to injury. He is back. Daly Cherry Evans is the captain. Mo Fodawaker, Harry Grant, Tino Fasul Malawi, who also missed last year's series with injury. Ruben Cotter, Jeremiah Nanai, Pat Carrigan. The interchange bench, Tom Dearden, Lindsay Collins, Beau Fermor, who is making his debut, and also Trent Liero from the Melbourne Storm, who is making his debut as well. For the New South Wales side, look, there was a few little, I guess, positions that were probably debatable, but new coach Laurie Daly has selected this side. Dylan Edwards at fullback, Brian To'o and Zach Lomax on the wing. Stephen Crichton, who just recently has been named to play. He has overcome a cork injury, so he has been cleared to play as of when I'm recording this podcast, so he will play against Queensland. Latrell Mitchell in the centres alongside him. The halves, Mitchell Moses, Nathan Cleary. We always thought that was probably going to be the case. Mitchell Moses played an outstanding series last season for New South Wales. Practically was man of the match in game number 2 and practically won the series for New South Wales, scoring that try in game number 3. Nathan Cleary missed last year's series through injury. Mitch Barnett and Payne Haas. Look, Payne Haas, he will play as well. He has overcome a quad, I think it is, quad strain or quad cork maybe, something like that. But he will play as well. He's been given all week to show his fitness. Reece Robson is a hooker. Liam Martin, Angus Crichton and Isaiah Yeo is the new New South Wales captain, so congratulations to him, obviously being the Australian captain as well. Last season in the Pacific Championships, he has now got the New South Wales captaincy as well from Jake Travojevic, who unfortunately wasn't selected for New South Wales, the series winning captain. Connor Watson, Spencer Leniu, Hudson Young and Max King from the Bulldogs, who will make his debut on the interchange bench. I think 28 years old, so congratulations to Max King for making his debut. So, majority of the team that were there last year, 2024, that won it for New South Wales are backing up again for New South Wales. So that is great to see. Look, that game, as I said last year, up in Queensland, Suncorp Stadium, was a 14-4 victory to the Blues in front of 52,457. Bradman Best and Mitchell Moses were the two try scorers there. 2-0 at half-time, very close game. 2-0 to Queensland. It was so very close game. So, look, this could be... I'm tipping it could be a very close game again. I don't think there will be a lot of points scored in this game. I could be totally wrong, absolutely wrong, but I'm hoping I am wrong because I would like to see a lot of points scored, but in this game. So, look, some very interesting things ahead of this game, including Kalen Ponga as well. He hasn't been in the best of form up at Newcastle, so will he turn it on in the Origin Arena? Who else we got here? As I said, Cameron Munster. I expect him to be pumped for this season, for this series for Queensland, having missed out on last year's season. I think he is one of these players that just really lifts for the big games, and if I was New South Wales, I'd be wary of him. Harry Grant in the hooker position, got to watch him out of dummy half as well, doing those short runs as well when the big New South Wales forwards get a little bit tired. Look, for New South Wales, Mitchell Moses, Nathan Cleary, that has been the big talking point, the halves combination. Which player will play on which side? Or will they just roam around and play on either side of the field as well? Will they play side by side? Who will do the long kicking? Who will do the short kicking? Obviously, Mitchell has got the longer kicking game and better longer kicking game than Nathan. Nathan probably has the better shorter kicking game. for his side, the Penrith Panthers, but he may do the short kicking for New South Wales. Angus Crichton, he is the reigning Wally Lewis medalist, which is the player of the series. He will be pumped for a big one as well, and expect, as I said, Payne Haas. He has been under an injury cloud, but I think he has got a big motor. He will run and run and run, probably play a big minutes as well for New South Wales. I'm really looking forward to this. I think look, for New South Wales, they'll obviously have the crowd against them. The Blues, they don't get the best of receptions up there at Suncorp Stadium. Look, I just wish they could go down Caxton Street again, but I guess safety reasons they can't do that these days. But look, it would be good if they could. It would add to the theatre again of State of Origin. But look, the key, I think, for New South Wales is the fact that they need to get off to the good start and probably silence that crowd a little bit. I think we may see a few crossfield kicks from Mitchell Moses to Zach Lomax, like we had seen last season, last series, last year, and potentially what we hopefully will see for Parramatta. Brian Toto, you know what you're going to get from him coming out of New South Wales end on kick returns. He is a big meter eater. Looking forward to seeing Reece Robson in the hooking position. Again, hasn't had the best of seasons for the Cowboys, hasn't been a standout, but Origin, it can turn you into a different player, and perhaps this might do that for him as well on the big stage. Expecting a sellout crowd there at Suncorp Stadium. It will be potentially 55,000 there, which will be really interesting, and a interesting stat as well from Stat Hub on Instagram. If you like your stats, give them a follow on Instagram. 3 State of Origin matches have been played on the 28th of May, and guess what? New South Wales have won all 3 of them. All 3 have also been played at Suncorp Stadium. So is that a good omen for the Blues? I really hope so. I hope that is the case. 28th of May tomorrow, and the game's being played at Suncorp, so I really hope that is the case. Look, a few other stats, and these come to you via Random Stats Guy. Give him a follow on Instagram as well. Daly Cherry Evans, he will become the oldest player in State of Origin history tomorrow, or game 1, being 36 years and 97 days old, taking over Petro Civoniceva. So it looks like all the Queenslanders are the oldest players in State of Origin. Why wouldn't you? Looks like most of them have, Daly Cherry Evans, Petro Civoniceva, Alan Langer, Arthur Beetson, and Steve Price. And another a more interesting stat as well, along with that 28th of May one, is Queensland have lost all 3 Origin matches when Harry Grant has started at hooker. So that could be a good one, as Harry Grant is starting at hooker in game 1. Mitchell Moses, this will be another good feather in his cap. He can become the first New South Wales half to win 4 consecutive Origins since Brad Fittler in 2000. So a 25-year-old record there. And Queensland have not lost consecutive Origin games at Suncorp Stadium since 1998. Well, Lang Park, Suncorp Stadium since 1998. So obviously New South Wales winning that game last season, 14 points to 4. They have the chance to win this one. And look, game number 1 is a very important game to win because statistics do show that more teams who win game number 1 generally go on to win the series. So if you can get a 1-0, if you can go 1-0 up in a series, you go into game 2, I guess, with a little bit less pressure than the opposition who were 1-0 down. This year, the game 2 is in Perth, so, and game 3 is in Sydney. So, look, Queensland, New South Wales have got a good record over in Perth. There's been a couple of games being played over there previously. I'm just trying to find it here. I cannot see it here at the moment. But they have played a couple of times over there, and I do believe that New South Wales have had a good record over there, and I think have won them both. Queensland seemed to go all right in Adelaide. Down in Melbourne, I think it's a bit of a 50-50. New South Wales got the win last year down there. So you really want to win game number 1, going into game number 2, less pressure to get the victory. Now, let's do a bit of a prediction. I think I'm going to go 18 points to 14, New South Wales to win. First try scorer, look, I'm going to say, I think I might have said on Roosters Mania TV podcast, I think I might have said Zach Lomax after a crossfield kick from Mitchell Moses, but is that too predictable? It probably is. So I am going to say Latrell Mitchell will score the first try in Origin, and I think he played in game 2, he scored a try there as well. So I'm going to go Latrell Mitchell for a first try. And for man of the match, I am going to say Mitchell Moses will continue on his Origin form. That, yes, sure, that might be a bit biased, but I'm going to say he will get the man of the match. I really hope New South Wales win. Look, Queensland will be tough to beat up there at Suncorp. They always are. Last season to win the series, it was a long time before. I think it was something like 20 years or something like that New South Wales had won a game 3 at Suncorp Stadium. They managed to do that. They'll get a new coach this season. Queensland still have Billy Slater. So new coach Laurie Daly, he is back in the scene, having coached the side previously. He's got Melbourne coach Craig Bellamy in the system as well, just being a bit of an advisor, but pretty handy advisor to have, considering that the Queenslanders have, I think, 3 Origin players in their side from Melbourne. Look, I'm really looking forward to this. It is on live and exclusive on Channel 9. So if you cannot get to Suncorp, then watch Channel 9. I will be watching it for sure. Cannot wait. Origin football, you know, the big hits, the start is where the forwards will lay the platform, and it's generally, I guess, Origin is generally a forwards platform at the start. They're the ones who get each whatever team off to that good start. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Cannot wait. Love Origin. Bring it on. State against state. Mate against mate. Let's go New South Wales. The Paracave podcast, by the fan, for the fans. Go the Blues.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Paracave podcast. See you next time.